person. That's actually known as the treat stare. How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles. Ah, the happy dance will come in with this group. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one. Visit theshelterpetproject.org today.
Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas and get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
A1R Psychic, Metaphysical and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
So I just want to make sure, I think what I'm feeling here is, I know that she recently passed.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling that it's odd because it's like, I feel like what she passed from is between the throat and right above the pelvis. And I'm feeling like my stomach area and everything is really, really bloated and full, but I feel like it's a symptom of something else. Like I'm going back and forth where I feel like it could be cancer related, but then I'm feeling like it's internal bleeding, or does any of that make sense at all?
Well, you might be getting two of them. My grandmother passed away a year and a half ago, and she had a stroke. And my mom passed away 3 weeks ago with a heart attack.
Okay, why? But so I'm not sure. Maybe the stroke is connected to the internal bleeding, but it's weird because I just feel like everything. Did one of them have like a pot belly where the belly was just full? Okay. Was that your mom?
Last year or so, yeah.
Was that your mom?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
she was always teeny tiny, skinny, and within the last year, she all of a sudden had a pot belly.
Yes, so I feel like that is also connected to, I just felt like, yes, she might have had the heart attack and passed away from that, but I feel like it was something that developed because she's making me feel like I just feel her little pot belly. And it was a little odd because, like you said, she was thin, but then she had this belly. I feel like she had a pretty good sense of humor because she's kind of laughing and saying, yeah, like there are times where I just looked like I was pregnant. So she feels younger to me. Like, I don't feel like she was that old. Like maybe early 60s, late 50s?
66.
66, okay. She had a young energy about her for sure, though. Like, I feel like she was pretty down to earth. she's saying she had her moments of being a little complaining. I guess the nice word I could use. But she's like saying there were times where she could be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's making me feel like she was at the service. It kind of doesn't feel like a funeral type situation, but I feel like you guys gathered together in some sort of way. Was she cremated?
No, she was buried, but when she lived in another state, and then we went the following week there, and she was a member of the Moose Lodge, and they had a life celebration, and oh, she was there, and oh, we danced.
Okay, yeah, she was definitely there because she was saying, like, she was at the service. She had a great time. Were there, like, I feel like she was buddy with a couple of guys. Like, I felt like she almost is like one of the guys because I feel like she would hang out and maybe even kick back some beers or something. Like, she's just making me feel like that's what they did at this lodge, right? Like, they just kind of they hung out and they drank beer and she
didn't drink beer, but she drank Colorado Bulldogs, and we actually made one for her and put it on the memorial table.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, see, I would never be, but she's got to talk to me in my language, and I would never know what a Colorado Bulldog is. So she's just making me feel like it was a good, it was a good time. It was a celebration. It's something that she's definitely going to miss, and she's making me feel like she's going to be there. She's kind of making a joke, like, I will haunt that place. Like, I will be there for sure. She definitely has a good sense of humor. So she's kind of making me feel with you like, you said there was some distance, right? So she's kind of making me feel like she didn't get to hang out with you as much as she would have wanted, and that maybe there were even times while you were growing up where the two of you butted heads about certain things.
Yeah.
And she's just acknowledging, like, hey, it was what it was. Like, I'm your mom, and that's just like she's just saying almost. Yeah. She's just saying like tough, right? Like, she's actually, I don't know if she would say this, but and again, she could be communicating in my language, but I feel like she's saying like tough titty.
She would say that.
She would? Okay. It's like tough titty, and like a little saying, like something about spilled milk and the kitty, or tough titty said the kitty. Something like, she's being funny. She's cracking jokes, for sure.
Yeah.
She's also saying, she wasn't, like, she's not making me feel like she was very kind of like huggy, affectionate. Like, I feel like she's saying she made sure that you knew that she loved you, but maybe she wasn't as maternal as you would have liked, or maybe even as much as she would have liked in some way.
Yeah. She was a very loving person, but we didn't as much, as we were more friends than mother-daughter because she had me so young. So yes, I understand that.
Okay, yeah. So she's just saying, like, she, but again, like, she's just saying it is what it is. She loves you. I mean, she's got lots of love for you. She's acknowledging some children. I have 90 seconds. So do you have younger children? Like, I just feel like there's young children.
Well, there's 3 of us, but then there's grandbabies. And she might be trying to tell you that there's a grandbaby on the way, and now she knows. Because the day she died, she was supposed to find out.
Okay, yeah, because she's talking about the grandkids, like there's some grandbabies, but I feel like there's, a new baby coming. She's saying she knows what the sex of the baby is, and she's kind of like gloating about that, and she's not going to share it with you.
I already know.
Oh, you already know? Is it a boy?
I do. No, it's a girl.
Oh, that was me guessing. That wasn't her telling me. That was just me trying to pick up on it. But she's acknowledging all of you, and she's still really close. Her energy is really close to all of you, and she's going to be around for a little while. I do feel like she's going to give you some signs and where you can feel her presence. I do feel like she's going to send you, definitely some signs so you know that it's her. And she says she's going to be checking in on that baby and all of you all of the time, and just know that she's around. I do have to go. I appreciate you calling in, and thank you all for tuning in as well. I hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon testing, keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Testing for radon is easy. Just call 866-730-GREEN.
Make it green, green, green.
A message from the U.S. EPA. You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Soul Star Radio with Jacqueline Close-Moore. Live from soulstar.media. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites. AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Soul Star Radio on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome back to Soul Star Radio. I'm Jacqueline Close-Moore, and I'm back here in the southwest of Victoria, not actually in Melbourne today. So for those people who are sort of expecting last-minute appointments in Melbourne, I'm about 200 k's away. It ain't happening. But I'm happy to see you on Sunday at a place called Bunjil Place, which is a community psychic expo that's going on down there with Psychic and Wellbeing Expos. So thank you to Maureen and Leslie who are running that. So I'll be down there on Sunday, and I've also got clients in Melbourne CBD on Saturday, which is tomorrow. We're talking Australian time, of course. We're Thursday in the USA. Meanwhile, we've got a blood moon and an eclipse and Mars at its closest point to the Earth. What more do you want? There's a lot going on here with self-love, love of others, relationships, and looking, I think, at your relationship with yourself. When eclipses are happening, it's best to sort of, not drive like a maniac, although driving like a maniac any time of the day is probably not advised. But driving like a maniac during eclipse is going to get you in some trouble. It's best to give yourself extra room on the road. Give that next car extra room. If they look like they're aggro, let them past you. Or if it's in the US, this way. So depending on which country you are, either drive on the right side of the road or the left side of the road. It's just never right to drive on the left in America. So I'll just get into, look at this funny setup. Hang on, I'm just having some fun trying to find my little chat screen. I think my producer's going to kill me. Oh, there it is. No, I'm sharing the screen. Oh, we're having fun. Sorry about all of this, guys. So we're going to go to callers at some point. In the meantime, I've got our written-in people, a few written-in people, and they've written on the same sort of theme. There's a lot of stuff here about twin souls, twin flames, you know, soulmates, all this sort of thing going on. And so I'm going to answer that both logically and psychically, I think, is going to be my best sort of way of dealing with this. So buckle up. Here we go. We've got, now, Brooke has written in. She's in Melbourne, Australia. And what's happening there is, how do I deal with my twin soul back in my life now I'm a married woman? So that's always a fun one. It's always a challenge to love the one you're with, as some people would call it, because if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. But you know, at the same time, you want to be authentic and real in the love that you're having with someone. And so there is, you know, the need to be very careful and cautious here on so many levels, because it is the ultimate dilemma, isn't it? You know, which direction should you go in? So what I might do is start with the fact that this year, Brooke, you're in a 2-year. The world is in a 2-year, because if we add down 2018 into a single digit, we get to 2. So 2 plus 1, because 0, well, we're not going to add that, is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11, comes down to 2. So that's 2018 added up together, brought to the single digit sort of quantity. Now, because you're always in the same year number as the global year energy is, although you're born halfway through the year, and happy birthday for last week. You know, what's going to happen there is you'll find that whatever energy the year's in, you're in at the same time. What that means is that you're ultra sensitive to other people's energies. You can find yourself at times dealing with the difficulty of feeling what other people want from you, and then having trouble discerning whether that's what you really want or not. That's what I really get from this. I do feel that you are very sensitive to energies, generally speaking anyway. You tend to juggle things a lot before making a choice, and it's always about how this is going to affect others before you're really thinking about what you want. And there's a big, big sense of duty being important to you. What's right, what's ethical, what's dutiful. So this is where, when you're asking this question, it's even, you know, even a bigger question for you, because this is not an easy one to really even write. So, you know, we respect that may not be your real name. But what I'm going to say there is that I really feel for you in your situation. It's really important to sit with this for quite some time. Have a look at, when we look at exes coming back into our life, you know, what do they want? Do they want the fact that you're not available? Do they want the fact that you are available? Do they want you to be available? Are they instead someone who would say to you, look, I've always wanted you in my life. I'm sorry it didn't work out last time. I hope that if you were ever single, that you would consider me. You know, that I could handle that statement. In fact, I've had that statement said to me by someone who was expressing interest, and I'm like, FRINDS. You know that song? You know, like, let's just be friends. Hey, I love you as a friend. And that person is able to accept that and is just a friend. And, you know, myself and my husband will often giggle about who tried picking us up today, which, you know, for me, it's like, really? What? My husband's even had women come up to him at psychic fairs claiming that they're psychic. Well, I'm standing at the next table because we work together, and they've come up to him, and I remember hearing this woman word for word, and she's like, I really think we'd be very compatible, and, you know, I could expand your world and get you out around Australia and la, 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 la. And she's sort of going on about how they could, you know, be good together in many ways, not just working. And he says, well, that's really flattering, but I think my wife here has expanded my horizons. She's already taken me around Australia. Have you met my wife, Jacqueline? And I'm just like, hi, pleased to meet you. And yeah, Yeah, so that person went away very quickly, and sometimes that will happen in reverse, and I'll say, have you met my husband, Thomas? And so it's sort of a really interesting exchange that happens. The being open about things, I think, is really important. The problem, of course, is if you're getting an advance from someone, then it's like, oh, gosh, I've still got somewhere in my heart for them. What the hell do I do? I would really want you to seek counselling to work out and be able to vent somewhere safe that's not going to be judgmental, so that you can sort of work this through your head. But also at the same time, before you ever leave a relationship with the idea of that being for someone else, which you shouldn't do, you should leave the relationship you're in because you're leaving that relationship. Because if you leave a relationship for the promise of something that hasn't fully materialised, you know, what are you leaving for? What are you going to? Is this going to be real? So it's really important to sort of think about that too. I do feel the tug on your heartstrings quite strongly from that other person, though. I sort of have to really respect that, but at the same time, we have to respect the position you're in. It's just really, really important to sort of sit there and work through, okay, well, have I grown distant from my current partner? Have we sort of stopped connecting? Do we need to try to reconnect first? Do we need to try and work out what we're doing here first before we go anywhere else? It's just something you really need to think about and take your time with. But you are in a 2-year, and 2 is both the High Priestess card, so we're calling for wisdom, we're calling for intuition, and we're also calling for taking your time, having patience here, but also in a 2-year, 2 is either partnership or oppositions. So when we're dealing with astrology, you know, you have, you draw a line and you draw the 2 circles, and that's, you know, that's good. Now, is that conjunctions or oppositions? Look at me being an idiot. But anyway, you can get conjunctions and oppositions to do with astrology as well. And because you're in a 2-year, 2 can be, of course, partnership. 2 is also a year where it's a choice between harmony and conflict. And certainly this has got itself ripe for a lot of conflict. It's about going to be about how you handle this and get to the true essence of what this is really about for you. I think when a guy's approaching you and you're married, for all other ladies listening out there, all our jet cut loose, but it only gets stronger. I'm very lost in my romantic life as well as everything else. I don't know what to do, where to turn, and she's literally messaged psychics, as you can see. I'm just so generally confused with everything. I've been told I have a long way to go before reaching my soulmate, the father of my children, and at this point I don't feel like I have one. The world is too cruel and complicated. What I would say to you, Jessica, is you've actually got a really bright future ahead of you. I do definitely feel the confusion around you. There's a lot going on in different areas of your life here with your family, with your career direction, with what feels like studies or vocational training. And in the middle of it, you've got this guy who's absent, and you've got your father who's passed over. And so there's this real longing for not only the love of your father, but also to be able to heal a relationship. And I think in a way you're trying to, without realising it, rescue and heal someone that you love that isn't there for you. And I'm talking about this guy. I could have been in your lifetime talking about your father. And that's really full on to say to you, but I do feel your father's loved you in his lifetime in the best way that he knew how. I just feel that there was a lot there in the relationship with mum and dad and with everyone else going on here that made his ability to be fully there for you quite difficult, and not just in the last couple of days of his life. I do feel he's sending you all of his love. I do feel he's sending you determination and strength to see a better day and to find your way here and be stronger, is what I'm really getting from this. And the words I'm getting from that as well are that despite his own inability to do things in his life the way he really wanted to, and a better way that he could have, he's trying to push you in the right direction so that you get to do things in a much stronger, more centred and grounded way in your life. It's my translation of what he's saying. But But what I really want to say there is to do with this love you've got there for someone, it can be really difficult to live without, the person that we've loved so much. Some people we never really quite get over, we learn to live without. And we can learn to live without people who have passed over, but we can also be grieving people who aren't passing over anytime soon. I do feel you will get married and have children here. I do feel that will be with someone else. I do feel that when the right time comes, there'll be quite an amazing friendship later on with this ex of yours, and you'll have a great deal more understanding. I think the thing to do every time you find that you're thinking about him is to try to detach a bit, ground yourself, center yourself in your heart, and just send a thought of healing love and light to him. Notice I'm using my hand. Healing love and light to send him away in the direction he needs to go. So I would really, work on the detachment there. But what you need to do is not get angry about not being able to detach. Don't get obsessed about how you're still stuck or feel stuck to him. This gradually eases over time. But it's going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight situation here. And for some people watching and listening who've been through something like that, for some of them, they'll never see that person again. For other people, if it's really meant to be, love actually finds its way. If it's really meant to be, you'll be able to, reconnect on whatever level that's going to be. So I really want you to have more time centering and grounding yourself. I would try and get busy with things in your life that are productive for you. So I hope that, that helps you and gives you some insight. I do think you've had a lot of different advice, and I think that can sometimes be something that we need to sort of step back from and go back to the basics and really just focus on day by day by day, because otherwise you're getting wound up more and more in this question, more and more in this situation, confusion, and all those sorts of things. So that's what I want you to really think about, and work back on the day-to-day stuff. Try to let go, but don't get obsessed about whether you're doing that well or not, and try not to write to lots and lots of psychics, because I think that we can have too much advice. So I really want you to sort of pull back a bit from that too. Continue your education. It's what your dad wants you to do. I don't feel like he reached all the goals he wanted to in his life time, but I do feel as if he's sort of really strong on wanting you to do that. So, that's what I would work on. Now, lastly, you've also talked about your mum being very religious, believes in the Bible and Jesus. I've been forced to go to church since infancy. I've told her I don't believe in God specifically, but a higher power. Yeah, well, you're talking about wanting to know who you are and where to start. What I would say is work on the little things, work on the day-to-day things, work on your education, work on getting towards your career. This whole question of philosophy, religion, spirituality is going to take time to sort out. I feel that no one should be forced into religion because it means that they're just following things by rote rather than because they feel and believe that. I think it's fantastic that if your mum has a religion and she gets a lot of peace from that, great. Try not to have too many fights with her about her beliefs because they are hers, but as an adult, you don't have to necessarily agree. I think it's something that's going to take a while to get to the core of. Finding out who you are is probably, it goes back to that age-old saying, first know thyself. And first know thyself is one of the first things I teach people in psychic development classes, because if you know yourself, you then know what energy is yours and what energy is someone else's. So start with the small stuff, work on your education. That'll get you where you want to go, and work on that. So I'd like to thank you all for writing in. Thank you to the people who have been trying to ring in. I'm sorry I haven't been able to take a call today. I just can't find the chat screen yet. I'll be back doing that next week. We'll have Raul, I believe, unless he's been spirited across to a training agency, which he looks like doing, but we'll see what we can do with Raul. And I look forward to catching up with you next week. If you're wanting to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook. Just type in Soul Star Radio with Jacqueline or Google Soul Star Radio and you'll find the website for me. And you can also, of course, go through A1R Psychic Radio to find me as well. There's lots more shows tonight with other psychics. So, you know, enjoy the rest of this evening in America and this afternoon and morning in Australia, and I'll catch up with you next time. So if you're trying to find me, just Google Soul Star Radio. You can find links to both free readings on the show and also paid readings with me privately if you're wanting to see me in Melbourne or on the internet. In the meantime, I'm going to wish you a happy weekend. And remember to take your umbrella out under the lunar eclipse here. We've got the blood moon. We've got Mars at the closest point to Earth. Try to remain calm. Maybe a spike at the top of the umbrella. Just walk around, gotcha, you know, in case there's any flying red herons or other things. But in the meantime, I'm going to send you lots of love and light and catch you next time. Bye!
A1R Lifestyle, Healing and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Geordie Jane's Psychic Medium with Geordie Jane. Live from geordiejanes.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Geordie Jane's Psychic Medium on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon and early good morning over in the UK. It's Geordie Jane, Psychic Medium here. Thank you so much for spending the next half an hour with me of your time today. Now, I know hopefully with all things going to plan that the weather is going to hold, so we have a good show, but I'm not going to tempt fate, so we're just going to go with the flow. So I hope everyone is staying safe in the storms over there in the States and all the wild weather at the moment. Over here, it is quite cold. I will talk weather in degrees, so I do apologise, or in Celsius. Yeah, so at the moment it's like 12 degrees, but it feels like -5 or something. It's really, really cold out there. The sun's out, but the wind is got a chill factor on it. It's really, really cold up here. I reckon if it rained, it would snow. So it's really cold at the moment. So I'm all rugged up and I've got my scarf on and everything. Today, been a really good week. I hope you all have had an awesome week. Today I want to talk about trust. Now, also just as well, before I go into that, Spirit has actually just put it in my head that I need to talk about all the people who are over here in Australia at the moment. We're going through some tough times in our drought-affected areas. Our farmers are going through a little bit at the moment. So if you are in Australia, be mindful and try and donate time or donate money, donate to the bales of hay. Just try and help our farmers out as best we can, because if it wasn't for our farmers, we wouldn't have food on the table or and things like that. So, and I come from a family that used to have a farm, so I definitely know how to live off the farm. And when we've got drought, and we've always had this, it comes and flows with the weather, but it just, please be mindful if you're in Australia, try and donate as much as you can. That would be amazing to our beautiful farmers up there struggling at the moment, or around Australia actually, because I don't think it's just the east coast. I think it's also the west and south as well. So that's my little thing for today. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. So today, the word is trust. Now, it's interesting. Trust is a big word. I had a workshop on the weekend, and I was connecting and getting my beautiful students to do some workshopping higher self as well as soul connecting. Now, the biggest thing is trust. So it doesn't matter if you're a healer, reader, or a person in everyday life who doesn't do readings or healings. Trust is a big thing. So when we get things, we've just got to trust with what we get. Now, when we were doing the higher self stuff, it's trusting and letting go. See, we can as humans be a bit of control freak. I know I am. And letting go can be really hard, but when you trust to let go and just go with the flow, readings, healings, all that sort of stuff really sort of start flowing. But also trust in yourself. You've got to have the trust in yourself to know that you're doing the right thing for you. Being mindful that if you trust in saying no to someone, then do it. If you trust yourself in not going to that place or turning left instead of what the GPS says right, just do that. Trust your gut instincts. Trust yourself. It's a big word. And you put yourself in a, thank you, that, sorry, I'm just getting words from spirit, which is what I normally get, is when you go to have an operation or you go to the doctor, you put your trust in a doctor to make sure that they give you the right medicine or they heal you. And sometimes if you feel like your gut instinct is just not there, you just go, I'm not quite sure about this doctor, so let me just work with going to another doctor. So just trust. Okay, so that's the big word for the week. I hope you start, and even if you don't really do a lot of work with spirit or with healings and stuff, just do little bits and pieces like, okay, I'm going to trust my instinct and go and do this, or I'm going to trust my instinct and call that person that I haven't spoken to for so long because we've had a fallout. So it's just trusting what you get intuitionally. So your gut instincts, trust them, because the more we trust them and the more we put our mindfulness and awareness into that trust of our gut instincts, the easier life is, or the easier the way your path goes, your life goes. Because the less we trust in our gut instincts, sometimes we fall off the rails, which can happen. It's a part of the human experience. But being mindful that that spirit connection can be really strong, just trust, okay? So I feel like that was a bit of a big word for everyone this week. And it's just even us as readers and psychic and mediums, we've got to trust with what we get, because it's what spirit give us. We've got to trust. We can't manipulate it or move it. We've just got to trust with what we get. Okay? So thank you so much for listening to that. But just try and do some time out that you trust with what you get. It's lots of fun. So I've got Teresa from, I do apologise, I can't pronounce where you're from. Thank you. Hi, Teresa, how are you? Oh, Delaware, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, that's good. Actually, you sound like a little bit off at the moment, but that's fine. Let me just work through this. Now, did you want to go psychic or mediumship today, Trace?
Any way you want, as long as any way Spirit would like you to.
Okay, lovely. Okay, cool. It's like I want to take a deep breath with you because I feel like you're a little bit on edge at the moment, but that's only because there's a few things going on around you that I just want to I'll let you know that I'm aware of. I want to say you're at that point of jumping off a cliff for work or jumping off the cliff for doing something a little bit out of your comfort zone, because I feel like you've got a little bit of anxiety going on around you at the moment with a few things coming up in your life, which it can understandable. Sometimes we can get a little bit over protective or over sort of thinking, but I just want to make reference to, I want to say this is the tip of the iceberg. Would that make sense with you? Hello, Therese. Okay, thank you. Oh, Spirit, love it. I was putting it out there that everything's going to be okay today. So, yeah, I'll just wait for Therese to come back on. Hopefully we can get her back on. Okay. Hi, Therese. How you going?
I'm fine. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. It's all good. We got you back, which is good. Dave, our beautiful, wonderful producer, got you back. So I don't know if did you hear a little bit what I was saying to you, or did it cut out? Oh, I think we've got, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Therese, just connect with me if you're still watching this. If you're still watching this, Therese, just connect with me on Psychic, Geordie Jane Psychic Medium on my Facebook page, and I can do a little thing for you at the end or next time you call in, okay? So just waiting for our next caller, and while I chat with that, Therese, I hope you can watch this back because I just feel like I know Spirit's around you, and I feel like there's a grandmother connected on mum's side of the family for you as well. So I just feel like there's that. Okay, so just waiting for my next caller, but I do feel like you need a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I really want to say breathe, Therese. So I hope that makes sense with you. I'm just waiting, but please listen back. That would be awesome. So I'm just waiting for our lovely Dave producer to bring through another caller, and I will just have a sip of my tea. So I'll just keep going just quickly with Therese while she can hopefully she can still watch it on Facebook. That your grandmother is just giving you a bit of more of a pat on the back and a bit of a sort of holding you up at the moment. So, yeah. So also while I'm waiting for our lovely next caller is we need to do things that we love to do. So working with going to do that yoga that you've always wanted to do, or go and do the dance. It's like I want to say, when something speaks to your heart, do it. We sometimes, as our human selves, we can get into our mindset, and we can get a little bit overthinking, and this is what brings anxiety up, and then we sort of overthink going, oh my God, that person doesn't like me, or what have I done to that person? Sit in your heart space and really be aware that the way you talk and your vocabulary to yourself, we need to be a lot more positive lately because there's a lot of things going on around the earth and everything. So when we speak from our heart to ourselves, it reciprocates. So it sort of gives us a nice little figure eight and giving us our nice little balance and everything. So while I'm waiting for my next caller, I might pull a couple of cards. Now, I did pull trust. So trust is a really important, as I was speaking on the show a little bit earlier, in regards to trust. Oh, another one fell out. Taking pride and this sort of follows on with trusting what you get and trusting in your gut instincts. I love these beautiful Colette Baron Reid cards. They're absolutely gorgeous. This is the stag, and I don't know if you can sort of see that, but there's the stag. And standing up with your pride, like trusting in your own pride, trusting in your own leadership is a really good thing for you. It's like I always say, when you stand on your own 2 feet and you're grounded, you can go forward, you can do a lot of things. But being a leadership for me with this particular card is actually your own leadership in your own life. Taking the bull by the horns, taking the stag by the horns, sorry. But taking that by the horns and going, right, this is my life. I'm going to lead it 1 foot at a time, moving forward with positive energy and allowing myself to trust that me taking the bull by the horns or the stag by the horns, allowing myself to be that leader of my own life rather than being a follower or being someone that's walking by your side. It's always good having a partner by your side, don't get me wrong, but taking your own leadership in your own life is a really good thing. You'll find that things just fall into place more. Opportunities come up a lot more, but having pride in yourself to step forward and move forward and taking the leadership role of your own life. It can be hard because when we do that, we have to say no. And no can be a big word. No can be a word, but you've got to trust in saying no. You just got to trust in saying no. So I'll just pull another card out for the week. Communication. Oh, I love these cards. So communication is a really good card for this week. It's like I always say, when you communicate with yourself and communicate with others, oh, bless. Don't worry, Dave. Hopefully I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. It's all good. Don't stress. But I feel like this is what Spirit has got me doing right now. So communication, this is where I want to say, no, if you want to be strong in your communication. And it's interesting, I find I work sometimes on a metaphysical level where if we say no, it's for us to say no. But if we hold ourselves and we don't say no, sometimes our throat may get, like we might get a sore throat because we're not speaking our truth and we're not trusting what we speak, or we have that sense. So, but communication, being strong in communication. So saying no when it's meant to say no, to trust in your leadership skills of your own life. So then sometimes we can fall off the wagon with that. We can literally communicate to please other people, whereas we need to communicate to please ourselves first and please our heart space. So I hope those cards make sense to you this week. I know this week's coming up and we're also coming out of Mercury retrograde and all that sort of stuff, and all the planets are sort of starting to die down a little bit. So I hope that makes sense for people out there this week. Now I've got Melissa. Hi, Melissa. How are you going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Hopefully we keep you on track and on chord and everything. So did you want to go psychic or mediumship this week?
Okay.
Did you want to go psychic or mediumship or a bit of both?
Medium.
Medium? Okay. It's interesting because I did have a few people lining up before I actually started. As I talk in front of glass, sorry about that. Now, it's interesting. I know I've got a couple of people here, but I feel like I've got a gentleman that's coming through for you who's actually sitting. I've got a chair that sits right here next to me, and I want to make reference to this gentleman. There's a Peter or a P name that I want to bring through. I do feel with him, though, I feel like he's either a grandfather or a father, but I just want to make reference to that. I feel it might be a grandfather on Dad's side. So would that make sense with you?
I don't know. I didn't know my grandfather on my dad's side.
Okay. Is there a Peter or a P connection on Dad's side of the family, though?
Not that I know of.
Okay, that's fine. Well, okay, so do you know Dad's still here, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. And do you know if he's one of 3 children?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I just want to, because I feel like are you one of 4 or is there more than 3 for you?
I'm sorry?
Are you one of 4 children?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I have got your grandfather. Oh, okay, thank you. So you didn't actually meet him, or did he pass before you were born? I just want to make reference to this. I feel like he was still here when you were born, but you didn't quite know him. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I'm also getting 58 to 62 around him. I don't know if that's the age that he passed or the age. There was a significant age around him. But I want to come through. He's coming through. Just, I feel like he was a really gentle, a gentle man. Like, I want to say that he's actually giving me quite a bit of gentleness and sincereness. But I also feel like there's a bit of struggle, or there was a bit of disconnection around him as well. Now, I know you said you didn't really know him, but I feel like there's disconnection in the family. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, also, I want to make reference to, are you still talking to Dad? Because I want to make reference to talking to Dad.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you still talk to your dad? Are you still connected with your dad, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I just want to say there's a really close, and I do want to say that your grandfather's coming through and he's wanting to apologise for not being there for your dad, if that makes sense to you. Because I feel like they would have had a fallout when your dad was in his teens, or there's a reference to a falling out. But I just want to make reference with that. I do want to say that your grandfather is very much around. And do you have 2 children, or there's a reference to 2 children?
I do not.
Okay, because I feel like there's 2 children that are around you. Like, I want to say, I just want to say there's 2 children under you, if that makes sense. So I feel like they're more for you. So if you don't have children, I'm being drawn to tell you that there's 2 children that you may have, if that makes sense. Because I don't feel like they're nieces or nephews. I just feel like that you've got 2 children, or you're going to have 2 children. Now, also, he's telling me as well that okay, thank you. You don't have a partner at the moment, or is there a partner only just coming in? I just want to make reference to that.
If I have a husband?
Do you, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because I want to make reference to new beginnings around you, Melissa, if that makes sense. Because I feel like there's going to be new beginnings around the relationship, in a sense that coming in, it's like, I want to say, the relationship's changed or gone up a notch, and there's more sort of connection, and it's new beginnings. So I feel like there's new growth in the relationship. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he's also telling me, is there a particular person that you want to connect with?
Not that I know of at the moment.
No? Okay.
If there's anybody with them.
Yeah, awesome. So I just want to say that. And also, okay, thank you. Do you know if, okay, thank you. So your husband's mum has your husband's grandmother passed on mum's side?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because I just want to say there's a lady that wants to connect to your husband that has passed on mum's side of the family. So can I just leave that with you? I don't feel like it's mum, or it might be grandmother or great aunt, but I just feel like it's on grandmother's level. So I'll leave that with you. But I just feel like there's a Stacey or an a female name that I want to bring through on your husband's side, okay? But I do want to say that there's a reference to, he wants you to just take a deep breath and know that you're going to have, there's something about children, or there's something about children coming around you. So I just want to be mindful of that. But he wants to apologise for not being more around. And he's also showing me, so is there, okay, you're in Florida, but I want to make reference to, is there an Oklahoma reference there?
Not that I know of. I don't know of any family in Oklahoma.
Okay, because I just saw Oklahoma, so I just want to make reference to that. So Can I leave that with you? Because I feel like that's Dad's side, and I feel like he's just bringing that in as a validation point. Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm also being made aware as well. He's telling me about, have you just bought a new car, or is there a new car around you or coming?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I just want to say you've gone to a bigger car, or there's a reference to a bigger car or more muscle. It's funny because I'm getting a Chev, but I don't feel like it's a Chevy. It may be, but I'm just getting Chevy as a name. But I just want to make reference to the car that you're getting is bigger, or it's bigger than what you had previously. But I also want to make reference to the fact that this is more for travel, or more for camping, or more to take, being able to move things, if that makes sense.
No.
Okay. I just want to be mindful that I just see camping, or I see sort of a bit more of road trips and holidays coming up for you, and I feel like September's a big month. So is September a month that you are going away on holiday or something? I just want to make reference to that for you.
Not that I know of, because we haven't planned yet.
That's fine. I just want to make reference to there's either a camping trip or something around September I want to bring through for you. But I do want to say there's just a really good sort of essence around you, and what I want to say to you, and I feel like your grandfather's coming through, is believe in yourself. There's a belief. You need to be a little bit strong, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, okay. Do you have another question there? Or do you have a question, Melissa, for me? No? Okay. Also, I'm being shown study around you as well. So I don't know if you're actually going back to do correspondence or study, but I feel like you're starting to do expanding your knowledge is what I want to say.
I want to.
Yeah, I just see that coming through for you. Sorry, I won't have any. Oh, I'm just going to let everyone else know. I don't have another time. I don't have any more time for another call, so I'll just stay with you, Melissa. But I just want to say, I feel like your grandfather's coming through with, like knowledge. But also, I want to make reference to: has your mum's mum passed? Has your grandmother on mum's side passed?
Yeah.
Thank you. Was she in her 80s?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting 83 around her. Thank you. She's also saying to me that she's, it's like I want to say with her, the way I'm explaining is that there is, you can't make a fuss around her. She didn't like fuss around her. So for me to connect with her, it's like a big fuss to bring her through, if that makes sense. She'd like to just sit there and watch, or sit there and do things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. She's also quietly knitting, or she's quietly doing things, something with her hands, but I just want to make reference to that for you. And she's just, and Mum's still here, yes? Can you please give Mum a massive hug? There's something about Mum having a massive hug at the moment. I don't know if there's been some things going on in the last 4 weeks around her, whether or not there's loss or change, but there's just that reference there. So can I leave that with you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, also, your grandma, oh, my God, your grandma is so cute. Do you know is your mum one of 5 children?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And also, I see little hat. I feel like your grandmother always wore straw hats, or there's something about hats about her.
She used to.
Okay, thank you. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's got this gorgeous smile. And I do want to say there's something about her passing peacefully. There's a peacefulness around her. But I do feel like she's making me aware that she had issues with fluid, or there's issues with organs. But I just want to make reference to that. But I do want to say that she's quite happy now. But can you please give Mum a big hug for her? And also sunflowers. I see sunflowers as well. So I don't know. I know you guys are in summer going into fall, but I just want to say there's something about sunflowers in the house, or sunflowers around, but that's just something that she wants to bring through. Okay, so Melissa, can I leave that with you? But she just wants to give you a massive great big hug and go, don't worry, things are moving forward, and I do feel like the relationship is getting a new beginnings for you. So, and stop dragging your feet. Can I leave that with you, Melissa?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for connecting with me today. I've only got 30 seconds, so thank you so much. If you'd like to connect with me more, connect with me at Geordie Jane's Psychic Medium on Facebook or geordiejanes.com.au. Everyone have a lovely week, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to the Maya and Miguel Challenge. Meet Maya and the gang.
Oh, hi, I'm Maya.
Maya and her friends want you to get up and play, because it's always more fun to be active.
Let's get started.
Just go to letsmove.gov and look for Maya and Miguel. You'll find tons of fun activities that'll help keep you healthy and active. Whether you play sports, run, dance, or jump in place, just get up and play at least an hour a day. Take the Maya and Miguel Challenge today at letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
This year, firefighters will battle thousands of wildfires around the country in hopes of containing them. But a single ember that escapes can travel more than 1 mile, where it can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Prepare, protect, prevail. Get fire adapted. Learn simple steps you could take now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
All in together now. We can make it better now. Come on, can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
We rope it up,
cause we know how to jump.
we roll it out,
We know how to skate.
we'll cut it down,
We know what to eat.
we'll swap it out.
We eat healthy stuff.
Just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day. That's We Can. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.
A1R.
A1R. The Ask One Radio Network.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. And now, your time to shine with Darlene and Julie. Live from YourIntuitiveMentors.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is your time to shine on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening and welcome to Your Time to Shine. Your Time to Shine is a radio show devised to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening. I am your host, Julie, and Darlene is off tonight. But with me, we have fantastic guest host, Shauna from Nature's Keeper. We always love having you on the show, Shauna. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course, I always love being on the show. It's always fun, so thank you.
So tonight, Shauna and I want to talk to you a little bit about, hey, I know you, connections. We want to talk about spiritual connections, energy connections, that feeling. So, Shauna, have you ever been in the store and you look over at someone and you go, I swear I know that person, and you spend your entire time shopping trying to figure out where you know that person?
Oh, yes, so many times. And then sometimes you figure it out later, and then other times you don't figure it out at all, and you're like, who is that person? And sometimes you're really drawn to that person, or other times you're just like, oh, I don't know, I'm not drawn to that person. It's very interesting, right? I'm sure you've had that happen, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, in my job, I recently changed jobs. Oh, well, I guess it's been 3 years ago now. It hasn't been quite that recent. But I remember the first time walking into a meeting and I zeroed in on this gal that was sitting at the conference table. And and she has mentioned to me too since then that there was just something about me that she zeroed in on. And it was the same thing with me. I zeroed in on her. But I'm sure in some other lifetime, we were friends or sisters or, who knows? One of us could have been the man in the relationship and we could have been married, right? We just don't know. But for some reason, we were drawn to each other. So it's a really interesting concept.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Some sort of past life connection. It'd be interesting to explore that. And sometimes, it's good to explore it. And then other times it's like, well, do you really need to know? I think so many times people invest so many times into trying to figure things out. And sometimes it's okay to figure it out, but sometimes do we really need to figure it out, right? Do we just need to just go with it, right? I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes you don't really need to know. You just know there's that connection. And you just need to go with it. Mm-hmm. So before the show, you were just telling me a little bit about a story that's something comparable to this that you have just been has developed in your life. You want to tell everyone a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a really cool thing. So I was adopted, and so I just did one of those DNA things, and it was, I know who my biological mom is, and so I've always wanted to know about my biological dad, but there was never any information. So on this ancestry thing, it matched me with somebody that is a potential relative of theirs. So I don't know if this is for sure, like my bio dad, might be like a good possibility, with, everything kind of might add up. So I'm going to find out more information as I talk to this other relative. But it's really interesting because I've always wanted to know. And what's really interesting is this person actually passed away. So it's like stirring up all these emotions like, oh my gosh, I never got to met them. It's like, stirring up all these emotions in me. And then, it's like kind of around the same area where I grew up. So it was like, oh my gosh, did I run into them before? Would I have known that it was them? And it's just, making you think of all these things, and it's really like surreal. And so, being adopted too, it makes me feel like I found that missing part of me that was like missing to like kind of find this like little connection. It's like that missing little link. It was just like, shoo. It's like, because I don't know how to explain it. When you're adopted, there's always like this missing part of you. It's not that your family is any less, but there's just this connection of like things about you that might not always make sense. So I'm excited to, talk more to their family to find out, to see, if, that really is the case, that he was my father. There's a picture on there, and you can see kind of a similar, you can definitely tell we're related. So I'm interested to find out more. It's really exciting. It's surreal. It's like, thank goodness to all these DNA websites, right? Because you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always wanted to do that too. Is back and look and see who your ancestors were. I find it fascinating, really fascinating.
Oh, what's so interesting, it gives you like a breakdown of like a percentage of like this percentage of this and this, and your ancestors probably came from here, and it's really interesting. It's super cool.
Yeah. And and too, we've all been in this life before. No matter how many times we have done this life, we may have come back as a different person, but we've all experienced this life at least once before. And so that idea and that feeling of looking at someone and going, I think I know you from somewhere. It's a very common feeling, really. So if you really stop and pay attention to it, for the people around you, you might be surprised who might, pop up, and you go, wow, I think I know that person. So it's very, very interesting.
It is very interesting. Or if we were drawn to somebody right away too, there's like that instant thing, and you're like, wow. It's like you feel like you're so comfortable with somebody. That's really interesting too. So
absolutely. And you also that opposite feeling, like you were saying, I think I'm just going to stay away from that person. I get, probably you too, I get an instant sensation or feeling about somebody when I run into them. And it's really interesting. And I know my husband always says, oh, give him a chance. And I'm like, it's just something about their energy. Just, different,
It is, right? Yeah, there's this person I met recently at this one thing I went to, and it's like, there's just something about them. I'm like, yeah, they're probably a nice person, but just something, I'm just like, ooh, I don't know. Just something about their energy rubs me the wrong way. And I'm like, I can't put my finger on it, but I have to trust whatever that is, right? I'm like, okay,
Right, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, okay, I'm sure they're nice, but it's like, okay, well, I don't know.
Right. Well, we have a caller. Are you ready for some callers?
Sure, Sarah? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's so cool.
Absolutely. We have April in Long Island, New York. Welcome to Your Time to Shine. How are you this evening?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. What can we help you with?
I was just wanting to connect to my mom.
That's interesting, is like right as I tune into your mom, I get like, I feel like I'm tasting bubble gum, and I'm like blowing bubbles. I see like all these bubbles, and it's just like she like helps you to get the stickiness out of your life, whatever that is, like things that are stuck. She's like, no, that gum's not sticking to the bottom of the shoe. It's gonna blow a bubble, and it's gonna be massive and expansive, and I feel like it's just a big bubble of love that she sends you to, just a great pure pink energy that I see around her, like pink roses, and just the smell of just, rose water, and just, I don't know. Yeah, it's very cool.
She has, I'm picking up, she has very big energy, and I'm picking up on the same thing that Shauna just said. It's funny because I saw it more as a shield, right? Rather than like a bubble, but the same idea, right? It's that motherly protection. It's that wrapping you in the love and wrapping you in that protection, so that nothing can harm you. But I just feel like her energy and her love is so enormous. I mean, it's really hitting me. It's pretty spectacular.
I do feel it every day. I do feel the protection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She wants you to know that she's okay, that you can let go and stop worrying about her.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that that's really tugging at her. She's kind of showing me like she's like, she's being pulled down. So, and not necessarily that she is being pulled down. It's that she's showing me that you're being pulled down, and you need to let that go, release that. So I don't know if there's a little piece of you that hasn't been able to let go, or you're still grieving, or but she wants you to know that she is okay. And that you most definitely are safe. Shauna, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, definitely that you're safe. And I feel like she wants you to do something in her honor. So whether it's like get like a wind chime or like a statue for outside, or plant a flower that you can look out your window, just something I feel like she wants you to do, like an additional thing, like in her memory, just to remind that love is always ever growing inside of you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now we have Crystal in Austin, Texas. Crystal, welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello.
Hello. What can we help you with tonight?
How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good. I was just wanting to see how I have a sister that passed, and wanted to see how, I don't know if she could tell me how she's doing, or I don't know what to ask.
Shauna, I don't know what you're seeing, but I am seeing her like dancing and grooving, and she's moving her feet and her body, and she's just feeling fabulous.
Yeah, I feel like that she's like also sending you down, like, this is going to sound crazy, but like sparkles of like raindrops, and all these raindrops coming down on you. And it's fun raindrops. You know how people are like dancing in the rain? She's like, I want to wash away all your sadness. She's like, dance it out. Just dance it out. And remember the fun that we had together, that I'll still be a part of the fun that you have. It just is in a different way. She just wants you to wash away that sadness, even though it's so hard, because of the bond that you guys shared. It's still there. It's just a different type of connection. And that's what's hard, because it's a different kind of tangible. That's what makes it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel her presence?
I mean, sometimes I think about her a lot, but there's some times where I'm just like, I'll say something like, just, watch over us, or, I wish you were here right now, or, I feel like I feel her presence sometimes, or I'll see something like when I go visit her, like it's not even windy and her little wind chimes are blowing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know if it's her presence or not.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. She's telling me that, that she's there, of course, and that you are picking those things up, but you are kind of tossing them out and kind of poo-pooing them and saying, oh, that is. And so what happens is your ego comes in and says, come on, that's not what's happening. So pay attention to those things if all of a sudden out of the blue you start thinking about her, that is her right there. She's sending you energies and vibes to say, you know, I'm right here. You're safe. We still have that connection, like Shauna said, but it's just a different way. So it's just a matter of you tuning into that and finding out what that is. And then once you find that, really hone in on it, because she's leaving you clues all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I would pay attention, like, the next couple 2 to 3 days and see, because I feel like she's going to give you a new sign of something that you haven't seen before that's going to tie into the other signs. Just pay attention. You could be walking and find a penny, or maybe there'll be like a leaf that'll pop out at you, or a flower, or something like that. Just or a feather. Just pay attention to those signs, because those are messages from them as well, like things that we, you know, pay attention to like that just come to us out of the blue. It's like, oh, wait, why am I tuning into that? It could be, you know, if you think of them right away, it's usually a sign from them. So
right, and pay attention to she's showing me a bird, so pay attention to the birds that are around you and watch how they react around you. You know, if you have a bird or something that comes up to you and kind of looks at you, you know, there's something around birds though that you need to be paying attention to with her when it's regards to her.
But okay. I just sometimes I wonder what it'd be like if she was still here, or I just think about her often, and I'm sure I know she's doing good and smiling down, but I'm always wondering, like, does she have anything to say? How will we even know, or could she tell us anything? I don't know.
She's telling me that you need to live your life. You're holding back, and she's saying that you need to step out of that box and you need to start living your life again.
Mm-hmm.
Shauna,
absolutely.
Are you picking
absolutely?
Up
I see that 100% too. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, that same thing. And it's not always easy. Maybe it might help if you journal about her. Maybe write some little stories, or make like a little scrapbook of pictures or something like that, and write some stories with it. That might, you know, that can be very healing to do that. So, yeah.
Can I ask, how long has she been gone?
Oh, she's been gone about 17 years.
Okay. But I feel like for some reason that, and I think it could be just the bond that you guys are having, but I feel like it hasn't been that long. So I think what she's showing me is that you are still kind of trapped in that time warp. And so she's encouraging you to release that, because until you can release that, you can't really live your life. You're kind of putting everything on hold. And she says it's time to get up and dance.
Yes, I love it. Dance, do it. Dance, dance, dance. Just dance like nobody's watching. Do it like you would with your sister, because I feel like that she was just like, who cares, you know? Like, just do it. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. I feel like that she wants you to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So maybe go do something fun this weekend, you know? Just go take yourself out and do something fun that, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Well, I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Is there any other questions that we can answer for you?
I mean, I really don't know what to ask. I just, that was my biggest thing about my sister, and wanting to see how she was doing, or if there was anything you could tell me. Other than that, not really.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Okay, well, thank you.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Wow, it's so powerful. I mean, that totally goes with what we were talking about earlier about the connection of people and how we can, how we have connections with so many different people, and what that can do.
Even people you haven't met. Like I have one of my best friends, her grandfather that she never met. They have a connection, like something that she likes and interested were things that he liked too. It's very interesting. It's like they have that, there's always that connection. It's really interesting. Even if you never met the person, there's always that energetic connection is powerful. And that, yeah.
Oh yeah. My dad's grandfather, and in fact, one of his sisters, we didn't really see them all that much because they lived in the Midwest and we lived on the West Coast. So when I was growing up, we'd only get to see them maybe once every 3 years, maybe 5 years. I mean, it wasn't a lot. But when we got together, there was that energetic connection between my grandfather and I and this one particular aunt. And I never could figure out what that was. But of course, as you get older, you figure that out. But, just because you don't live right next to somebody or see them all the time or talk to them on the phone, it has nothing to do with that energetic connection. It's just there.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Powerful stuff, that's for sure. It's pretty cool. And, I definitely invite people, if you want to know more, gosh, even if you know about your relatives, oh my goodness, do one of those DNA things. It's so interesting. It's so fascinating to find out what comes up. It's really cool. It's like the best thing that I could get before my birthday. It's so amazing because I've wanted to know this for, I can't even tell you how many years. It's just like a part of me just feels so much more complete now, having more answers coming my way. It's really cool. So, yeah.
Right, because you were feeling that energetic connection or maybe that loss of that energetic connection.
Yeah.
So that piece of it just really makes it, really completes the story. It completes you.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, it's so powerful. And I'm remembering things, from where I grew up that I haven't thought about in years. It's like, wow, it's interesting how that all comes to play. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you have opened up a complete doorway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that usually, that happens a lot when people do that. They open up this doorway and information just totally floods in.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up a whole new perspective.
It does. That's so cool. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Wow, it's amazing. We're coming down to the end of our show. So thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to get in touch with Shauna and have your pet read or have a special reading for your pet, get a hold of her on Facebook at Nature's Keeper. And you can always contact us at Your Time to Shine or yourintuitivementors.com. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
This is A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
A1R Psychic, Metaphysical and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Avid Advice Live with Persian Medium Fiona. Live from avidadvice.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Avid Advice Live on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello everyone, this is Fiona, Persian Media Miami Power, and you are guys listening to Avid Show tonight. And of course, I have my gorgeous psychic Bella live in the studio as well. Hello Bella, how are you, gorgeous?
Hi, how are you guys today?
Look at you. You are so gorgeous tonight. Oh my God. Wow.
I have to keep up with you. You set the standard.
So beautiful. You're so beautiful. So gorgeous. I heard and I listened and I saw you and Queen Sunshine had a very nice, gorgeous conversation about dating. And I love your tips and ideas and everything that you said. And I know that I just comment on, like, make sure that you dress kind of comfortable, make sure that you're not going and eat sushi with the first, at the first date, because sometimes you don't know how to just use chopstick and just like coming down. It's just not going to be good though. And I love your idea, which you said, just maybe a Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that, Bella. Like how, like, what, do you have any experience about dating like to Starbucks? Did you ever had someone that you kind of like see 5 minutes and you feel, oh no, the photo was just a Photoshop. Now I have to run.
Yes, and that's why when I said about picking Starbucks, pick a Starbucks that you don't go to all the time too. Because if you go to the one right by your house and that person ends up going there, then you're going to run into them if you decide you don't like them. So you got to pick the right one, maybe pick one on the other side of town.
Oh my goodness. That's true. Yeah, let's say like next, 2 weeks after you go there and try to take your coffee. So, oh, is that bitch? Was she? Ooh. So like, yes. Fun. Okay. Like how many miles? Like 45 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles? How many miles?
At least to the other side of town from where you usually go to.
Okay.
If not, the next town over is always a good idea too.
And Bella, one of the things actually that I kind of like always recommend to all my students and clients is about like, have a comfortable dress. Like if you feel that your tummy is like getting swollen after taking one glass of water and you feel like, oh my God, now my dress is so tight and my stomach just came out and now he's going to think about it, I'm fat or I'm kind of like maybe pregnant. Oh my God, what should I do now? So it's kind of like, get comfortable with what you have and have kind of like, the shoes that you can wear and you can go. It's not the shoes. Maybe the guy says, well, yeah, the chemistry is very good. Let's take a walk. Like, do you want to walk? And I will go, yes, I would love to. And then you have a high that, and then you feel like, okay, well, I can just maybe do about like maybe 5 minutes, not more than that.
That has happened to me too, where we went to Starbucks and everything was great and there was a music store across the street and he wanted to show me that he could play the guitar, and so we had to walk across the street and I was thanking God that I did wear comfortable shoes because I almost didn't. And for some reason, I was just like, no, wear the comfortable shoes because you don't know how long you're going to be here in these. And so that was what ended up happening. And I was just thanking God because it was, down the street. And who wants to walk down the street when it's hot and we're high shoes and wobbling around?
My goodness. Yeah, and then a lot of stores and go home and says, oh my God. Especially when someone just wanted to kind of like have some brand shoes like Valentino, it's kind of like Valentino shoes. It's just like, it's cool that you just like sitting in the car, have 5 minutes in the car, go to the party, and then stay sitting there in some places, and then also just 10-minute walk, and then go back again to the party, and then go back again to the car and go home, because it's not a comfortable shoes at all. So some people think about, I'm going to go with Valentino because it's going to go to the date, and he's going to think that, what I'm wearing, example, I'm a groovy here, I want that type of the shoes, yeah, But then it says, I got so much stores, I can't even actually walk away. So yeah, absolutely. I love your recommendation about Starbucks. That is exactly fantastic, because sometimes we are not really feeling good about our energies, and it kind of like make us to feel like, is it going to be okay? Like, just because you feel like uncomfortable, you feel like, he's a very cool guy, but I don't want to even actually continue to just sitting there and trying to have dinner, because it's just weird, it's odd. And I feel like, Starbucks is fantastic, comfy, clothes, and be yourself. And then mostly I tell all my students and clients, be yourself. You don't need to trying to go up and down, jumping back and forth, and trying to kind of like do and talk too much, because sometimes when people get nervous, you're just starting to talk too much. I did this and like that, and by the way, I just like come here, and then on the way, and it's like, shh, just relax. Let him to ask you the question, and then you can just follow the lead. Because sometimes it's just going to be like, oh my God, I just embarrassed myself now in front of a lot of people, especially him. So, however, I have to say good luck to all single women who would love to date, and this is absolutely a time. It's summer. Just get out, just explore, do whatever you want to do, have fun. This is exactly what I recommend to every single people right now. Don't sit home and then like watch kind of like Oprah or something. Maybe I don't want to even go. I'm not looking good. Always, I says that concentrate on the best part of your face, best part of your body. So every single woman and every single man may have some kind of like insecurity somewhere. Someone says, I don't like that part of my body. I don't like that part of my feature of my face. But focus on some that you really love yourself. And when you focus on that part, then you forgot about the other part. And what would happen, you're building your confidence and it's coming up, and you feel cool and comfortable with that new girl and new guy. So this is always my recommendation to others. So now back to studio, and of course you are guys listening to Abby's show, and I have to say congratulations, Bella Love, because Abby is so happy with you. We got also kind of a couple of demanding clients, which absolutely we are not sending to kind of just like that, but they picked you, and they was so happy, beyond happy, and customer support got a very good review about like how awesome you've been, the way that you talk, the way that you taking care of them, like how their experience, like everything that you try to basically be, because you are you, you're not trying to be somebody else. You're always you. That's what I love about you. That's every single people around us, our clients, people that we both actually know, they love you just because you are not trying to be somebody else. You're just you, and that's why people love you so much. That's why your name is Bella Love, because it's beauty inside and out, and that's what I love, the beauty that you have inside and the most beautiful, gorgeous woman outside, which really always make me to believe that real deal, accuracy, psychic, name, Bella Love, don't miss on abbyadvice.com. So congratulations for all those beautiful things. In a very short time, you did fantastic. So
it's been awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
No, I really mean it, because this is like I got an email from customer service because they would love to. They told me that please just tell her, especially when you are guys live, just tell her that like how awesome she was, and we got a very good experience from 3 of our clients, which is fantastic, and all 3 actually said something that was all similar. She was fantastic, very fast, very accurate, not wasting our time, not sugarcoating. She was very, very good in whatsoever actually she did. So, you know what? Number one. Continue, Bella. So, okay, back to the studio, and I think we have a caller. Hello, how are you doing? Bethany, can you hear me?
Hello.
From Australia.
Hello.
Wow, how are you?
Good.
How's it going, my love?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you going?
Going fantastic. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And how about you? And what type of weather you guys have in Australia right now? It's kind of like funny to know. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit. That's all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you very, very well.
Yeah, I hear you too.
Okay, good.
So how was, okay, it sounds to be done. How was your weather, honey?
Hello?
Yes, my love, I heard you. Do you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. It's a really big storm here at the moment, so I think that's why.
I understand. Yeah. I understand, baby. I understand. So, gorgeous, give me your date of birth. Today, me and Bella will assist you with any spiritual guidance and messages that come from above. So, tell me, what you have in your beautiful mind? I open your pentagon, and Bella also using all the power that she has to trying to help you out about any questions that you have. Just go for it.
So my date of birth is the 23rd of the 9th, 1987.
Thank you, my love. Okay, babe. So what do you have in your beautiful mind and what I can do for you? Go ahead, sweetie.
I just had a question to do with love at the moment. I've just, separated from my partner. So, yeah, It's a bit messy.
Yeah, are you single, my love, or do you have somebody and you want to know how much he loves you or just how much he wants to do something with you or if you have any kind of like a good news to tell you? So are you single or do you have someone? If you have someone, I need to know about the name of the guy. It's going to help us to just really get connect and put that energies up. Okay, go ahead, baby.
I don't have anybody at the moment, but my ex-partner's name is Brad.
Mm-hmm. So is he coming back or trying to kind of have you back, or do you feel like maybe there is a chance? Or because what I can see, to be honest with you, gorgeous, there is two things on your pentagon is showing me very, very right now. Change and challenge coming around actually the end of September. You should not jump in that challenge. That means that you have to wait. Also, there is the left side of your pentagon. It shows me that you have to give yourself time. Don't rush. Also telling me about don't promise too much. So it means that you have to take it slow. So it also kind of like does make sense because you're talking about your ex, and then like the pentagon shows about no rushing, no trying to kind of jump in something in, or not trying to kind of like do like in some sort of like a just get it done. So that is my feeling of the pentagon. So Bella, how is your feeling? How is your psychic ability? Your psychic feelings actually tell about
Well, definitely, I was going to say, and this ties into something I was going to say earlier and I forgot. Libra, Venus is in Libra, so all, especially women, we want to take advantage of that for anything to do with love right now, even if it's not about going out and getting it, but setting the intention of what kind of relationship that you want. And so because this ex is coming back around, you need to use this energy right now and this time before he does to decide, if I take him back, what kind of a relationship do I want? What boundaries am I going to put up with? What are the things that he needs to do for me so that I can be happier in this relationship and be able to open up and trust him? And like Fiona said, don't rush into it. He's not going to say, oh, like, you didn't take me back today, so I'm gone and I'm never seeing you again. He will try. So you need to take those steps, take things slow, go through the process of like getting to know each other again and being able to communicate about what didn't work. And see if he really can step up to give you those things that you're looking for.
He he has jumped into another relationship with another woman, and we have 2 kids together. And this woman he's gotten with has 2 kids, and she's very similar to me. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is he thinking like it's just easier to replace me with somebody similar, or
no? This is a rebound. You know, it was just one of those things of let me go see what it's like to be with somebody else, and it's not fulfilling him. It's not that it was easy to replace you. It's that it was just experiencing something different.
Yeah, I kind of feel so. And you know, my love, I think my recommendation to you is write it down exactly what he did to you when you guys braked, and then what happened and why. Because after a couple of months and maybe a year or so, we forgot about what type of problem our ex maybe had. And then when he's coming back, we will just say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to give a chance. And then when he's coming home again and we says, oh my God, it's the same problem as 2 years ago. It's the same problem. He didn't change at all. So write it down exactly what type of weakness your relationship together with him had. And then trying to kind of analyze and put it there together if he kind of lying to you just because he want to sleep with you, or just having another place to go because the other girl maybe is not really feeling good about him and trying to kick him out. Or is it just like you are a real deal right now and he been around another woman and feel about like my lady was the real one and now want to come back. So no matter what the situation is for him, which is I feel psychically, I feel like he wants to come back to you because he misses you, because he couldn't find anyone that is close to you and just like be exactly lovable, touchable, and the way that it is. But my recommendation to you is about don't rush. Write it down, the weakness that you guys had in the past in your relationship. Do the analyze and kind of like see, okay, it's like from 2 months ago and now, is it just when I'm calling him, is he pick up my call, or is he trying to kind of like says, no call, no text, no nothing, and then he coming to my door day after just because want to have sex with me? So if it's the case, then drop him right away, right now like a hot potato, and don't even actually think about it. But if not, and he's gonna be there for you and always you texting and talking and communicating, and it's not just about sex and coming and say, oh, are you home? So that is okay. Then you can get a chance. You can actually see exactly if he actually got somewhere or not. So what do you think, Bala?
Yeah, I find it hard
coming up for me as well, and I was doing automatic writing here, is that there is another guy who will come in for you.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're choosing to do here, because this other guy that comes in is a soulmate connection. And when it's a soulmate, your guides will hold that person back until you are completely ready. So you have to decide, do you want to get back together with the ex, or do you want to move on? If you decide to move on, I want you to know this. The guides want you to know this, so that you're not thinking like, oh, but I don't want to be alone, so maybe I should give him that chance. Because there is somebody else that they will put in front of you that you do have a really great connection with.
Yeah, exactly. So don't rush, trying to have all the chances. You know what? He went to another woman. You're trying to try another person. I wanted you to try another guy. I wanted you to be in a date with another guy too. So why you want to actually jump back to your ex again? He actually now experienced another women and trying to feel about like, oh, I want to get back to my, last one, or to my ex. I wanted you to feel the same. You have to date others. You have to see like maybe you're going to find your twin flame, your real soulmate, the one that is going to stay with no weakness. That's what I wanted you to not rush. Okay, I have another caller. Thank you so much, gorgeous. I can't talk too much. Have a great fun, gorgeous. Wish you luck. And for your information, if you want to talk to Psychic Bella Love, our best psychic and avid advice right now, go to avidadvice.com, sign up, get your 5 free minutes, and get ready for Psychic Bella Love accuracy. And now back to studio, and I have a caller named Shalik. Hello, Shalik. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, Shalik. How's it going, my love?
It is going. It's going.
Okay, awesome, baby. So we have kind of like maybe 6 minutes, and I have also a producer that always trying to stress me out. So please just give me your date of birth. Let me and Bella assist you as soon as possible, like a phantom reading, and see like where we can stand. Go ahead, sweetie.
Okay, date of birth is 5/19. You need the year too?
That's okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, gorgeous. Shoot your question. Tell me
Going
what you want to know.
through, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I want to know about your question. Go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, well, I guess this is my first time doing this, so I'm not too sure how it works. But
just tell me about how you feel, what you want to know, like what is important. Like, let's say that right now the most important things for me, Fiona, is about like to know about like love life or my career, my finance, like my health, anything that is very, very important right now. Just shoot your question.
Finances and career.
Okay, as far as I see it on the Pentagon, my love, the finance for you, it's going to have a jump around actually the month of October. So because there is some change and challenge is going to come around the October 23rd to actually the November 27th. That is also telling me about a very good jump, new circle, and we're absolutely going to change a lot of stuff. So I wanted you to manifest as much as you can through that time, because then we're going to take you to the next circle, which is absolutely going to be the best ever circle in your life in between now until 10 years. Okay. When we go back to your love life, I can see also there is a very good news that coming around actually at the end of this month. I see about like August 28 through actually the August, August 28 goes to, okay, September the 11th is telling me about some change again, but in a good news, like good way. Something very positive is going to happen, and I really feel it. That you lay back and relax. Don't force anything. Don't run after anything. Don't chase anything. Just ask and receive. You are now in a position and asking and receiving. Now, Bella, you have to actually give your phantom reading. Go ahead, please.
All right, hun. The first thing that the guides want you to know is use September. Every day when you wake up in September, your first thought when you get out of bed, money comes to me easily and abundantly. Because for whatever reason, things are lining up with you and your own energy for the whole entire month of September, that you can really put all of this out there to manifest a ton of money. And I think that that's the dates where Fiona is seeing that that's starting to roll in, because you use that energy for all of September to make it happen. Now, as far as your love life goes, I do see things continuing to get better with that as well. And there is going to be an opportunity that comes along career-wise for you, either a new job or a promotion that's going to bring a significant increase as well in your salary. But you do have outside money coming in as well. So you want to use that energy all of next month to really get things going.
Yes, love. Okay. And I wanted you to manifest. So no matter what the type of the situation maybe you have right now, no matter what you feel and sense, I wanted you to just get in touch with your spirit, get in touch with your soul, get in touch with what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Just focus on what you want. Don't focus on what I don't have. Just focus what I have. And then try to say, I already have it. So if it's all about money, so you have to already feel that you have $10 million in your account. And what do you want to do with the $10 million? If you have a $10 million in your account, what are you going to do? Okay, I wanted you to list it down. Okay, I want to buy the house for $4 million. I want to buy this car. I want to go with this. I want to go with that. Everything that you want, you have to write it down with the $10 million in your bank account right now. So you have to say, I am. You should not say, I want. When you say, I want, you put yourself in the line, and it's not going to happen as easy. You have to say, I am. I am who I am. Whatever you want to be, you can use the word I am, and you became as you want to be. I am. Okay, gorgeous? So we have actually not too many minutes. Okay, we have maybe around 1 minute or so, because today my producer says if anything go wrong, so he will actually blame Bella. So that's why I don't want that our best psychic and avid advice be actually blame on. So that's why, honey, thank you so much that you choose A1R. Thank you so much that you choose to be on Avid Advice show. So, my love, I know that is a first experience for you, but you can go to avidadvice.com, actually get your 5 free minutes and talk to Bella Love and any other advisors if you want. Okay, we have just 60 seconds. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
You're so gorgeous today. I don't know, you look stunning as always. So, for more information about Bella Love and for more information about Persian Media Money and Power, go to avidadvice.com and get your 5 free minutes already now. Have a great fun and bye.
Bye, guys.
This is A1R.
A1R.
The Ask Ask One Radio Network.
The Ask One Radio Network.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting in the forest. 1 second, I'm having a smoke. Next thing I know, I'm face-to-face with Smokey Bear. Wow. And he told me it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
Did you know 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous and you're not. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Women now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
Harvard Medical School has now opened its doors to new female applicants.
The first woman is now in space.
The majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
A1R, Lifestyle, Healing and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. It's time for the Vibe Channel with Angel Confetti. Live from thevibechannel.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites.
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is the Vibe Channel on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, A1R listeners. I'm so glad to see you today. Welcome to the Vibe Channel. This is Angel Confetti, and I am your up these great
leaders before me, and I am so blessed to be in the company of all of them. Hello everyone, welcome to the Vibe channel. My name is Angel Confetti and I'm your hostess for this evening. And if you've been with us before, I thank you very much for joining us again. We love to have you come back every week. And I'd also like to invite you to check out all of the other amazing shows that are on prior to this. I'm blessed to have this time slot, but there are so many wonderful readers before me and the days before me as well. So please take the time to check them out. If you did not catch them this evening, they'll be back on again next week. But until then, this evening, I wanted to share a couple of really cool things with you that I experienced over the last week. Unfortunately, I had some sickness creep in and I wasn't feeling very well for a couple of days. I had actually had a trip planned last weekend that I call my solo spiritual sabbatical. And basically what that is I have decided, probably within the last couple of years, Spirit had been telling me that I needed to take a solo trip. Didn't matter where, but somewhere all by myself, because despite being in my mid-40s, I've never just gone anywhere by myself. I've always been very family-oriented. I've always been in some kind of a romantic relationship from one to the other, very little time that I wasn't in an actual relationship, and I always traveled with a partner or a friend, and I love to travel. It's one of my passions. But I realized on a couple of trips that I really love traveling with my loved ones, but then you're always in a state of compromise because you want your partner that you're traveling with to be happy. So you tend to do what they want to do. You tend to be flexible with the schedule. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just sometimes miss out on the things that you'd like to do. But more importantly, you don't really get any alone time in solitude of your hotel room or out at an event where you get to experience things without the distraction. And not to say that our loved ones are distractions, but anything that takes our attention away from something else is a distraction. And I realized that I never really went anywhere without being able to just focus on what I wanted to focus on. And I knew that since I had begun to spiritually awaken and experience my abilities, that I really would like to experience some form of travel with a spiritual intention of going with the full intention of spiritually learning and growing and not having anything that could distract me from that. Being able to go and do things on my own, on a whim or planned, and be able to tune into my spirit guides, even pray about it and ask my guides what they think I needed to learn and experience wherever I went. Well, I had planned this for a while and I was super excited, and I didn't want to go too far away just because of, for one, expense. I've been blessed to go on several trips this year already that we used saved money, income tax money for, and like most middle-class Americans out there, we live paycheck to paycheck. I'm sure most of us do that are listening, so you can understand that. So I needed to find some place to go that was inexpensive and fairly close to home. For one, because my daughter is in her last trimester of her pregnancy, so I'm really excited, but I want to be close in case anything could possibly happen that I needed to be here for. My youngest has special needs, and I'm still dealing with some health issues myself. So my husband was wonderful and very supportive, said, go, enjoy yourself, but I still felt the need to stay fairly close by. So I found a wonderful park, a couple of parks actually, only about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from my home. But unfortunately, I took ill right before I was supposed to go on the trip. And I was devastated because I thought it might interfere with my plans. In fact, the day of my trip, I awoke with the same headache I had the night before. I really wound up sleeping in till almost time for me to leave and didn't know till the very last minute if I was going to be able to go. But I just basically asked my guides to come in, and I asked them to help ground my body's energy, help calm and center me, remove any negative energy around me that could be adding to my health issues. I asked them to help cut any ties and cords from any negative energies or people that I had been in contact with that could have left some residual energy behind that could be affecting me. And I laid there and I asked them that if I was meant to go on this trip, to help push me through it. And surprisingly, despite having asked for that to be lifted the night before for me to get through some other responsibilities, and it hadn't worked, this just started to clear and I started to feel better and better. So this whole experience was really a leap of faith for me from the beginning, and trusting spirit to get me through it was a big part of this. And that just helped me reassured my faith that they would take care of me and not allow anything bad to happen, because that's what I wanted to talk about. As much as I wanted to experience this sabbatical, I also had to face a lot of my weaknesses and flaws, which meant, why hadn't I gone anywhere all these years by myself? I had to ask myself that. And it wasn't really easy to hear the answers because it stemmed in fear. It stemmed in insecurities. It stemmed in lack of confidence and ability in myself. I feared for my safety and my security because I was raised in a very loving home, but a very overprotective home, a home that had a place of love within their intention, but they basically smothered me and built misguided beliefs of fear in me that every time I stepped out the door, something bad could happen to me. I then grew up watching the media and seeing all the horrible things that could happen anywhere you go. And I realized that I had a lot of beliefs that were limiting me and holding me back. Then I also had to look at the factor that I had never gone anywhere alone because I don't like to be alone. I'm afraid to be alone. Well, then I had to ask myself, why is that? Why am I not able to be alone? And I started to realize I'm the kind of person that can't even eat out at a restaurant by myself without feeling really self-conscious, thinking everybody's looking at me and wondering what's wrong with her. Why is she all alone? And part of that is fear and insecurity, and part of that is ego. And I had to face that my pride made things about me when people weren't looking at me. If they weren't thinking about me or wondering about me. That was just my ego making it about me. So I really had to look at some underlying flaws and beliefs to push through and go on this trip. But I'm so glad that I did, because this amazing trip turned into be more than I could have ever hoped for. Was it the most expensive, adventurous trip I had been ever on? No, it wasn't. But was the most spiritual, learning, educational trip for me and about me? Yes, it was. Because I had a great time and I experienced some beautiful things. I went to these parks that had a lot of spiritual energies around them. They're famous for having a lot of artifacts found there from Native Americans and indigenous people There's also nearby burial grounds. I actually went to Serpent Mound Park in Ohio, near Peebles, Ohio, where there's this amazing effigy that's shaped like a serpent that is incredible, and it sits right at the mouth of a major meteorite crater. So you have the residual energies of that crater falling there millions and millions of years ago, and then you have the residual energies of this effigy, which is basically a structure built underground, usually in the form of a shape of an animal or a god or goddess, usually used for ceremonial purposes, kind of a community center, if you would, where they would come and celebrate and perform ceremonies. And then on each side, there were burial mounds. And I experienced that and its amazing energy. I stepped into nature, and I just stopped and I took in all of my senses, and I listened to everything, the birds, the cicadas, the crickets. I saw the beauty of butterflies flying around me. I saw some really beautiful birds. I managed to come through just at the right time to witness 3 does just grazing in a field. I pulled over right next to them and watched them for quite a while, and they just watched me while they ate, and we enjoyed a moment. And in the downtime when I was at my hotel room, I meditated, and I just went inward. And while I was out, or while I meditated, I learned a lot. But while I was out, I learned even more, because I, again, had to face those fears every few steps of this journey, where I would be out experiencing something great, and I'd see some people would start to come up behind me, and I'd start to wonder, are they safe? Do they have ill intentions? Could they be criminals? Nothing about them gave off the air of a criminal. It's just me, not them. That fear crept in. And then as I'm sitting in these beautiful places, which the next day I went to East Fork Lake Resort and spent part of the day at the beautiful beach there. And again, my anxiety and beliefs started to creep in, and I started to feel insecure again. And I even started to question on 2 different occasions if I should get up and leave. And it would have been really easy to just give into that and go to the safety of my hotel, or just pack it in and go home. But I didn't. I looked to my faith, and I trusted my guides to take care of me. And in those moments, I learned a lot about myself. But more importantly, I pushed through, and I succeeded. And now I have no regrets, and I am not angry at myself for giving up and throwing in the towel. And now I know that I can do something like this. And in fact, I really would love to do it again. It was a wonderful experience. And I just wanted to share this with you, because what is it that you are afraid to do? What is it that you should have done all these years, but you never have? Are you content with your life the way it is? Or is there something that's missing that you feel like you should be doing, but something's holding you back? And if there is something, I would like to suggest that you take the time to sit down and write out some important questions like, why haven't I ever done this before? What's holding me back? And the first things that pop into your mind are usually the truth. So fear, insecurity, doubt, for lack of a better word, ignorance, and that's okay. We all are ignorant about certain things, and that's the beauty of discovering that, so that we can overcome it and learn about it. But I just really want to ask, have you asked those questions, and then ask yourself, why? Why did those things come to mind? Why am I like that? Was it taught as a child? Did I experience some kind of a trauma or bullying, or was I denied something or somebody's love? Or did you experience some kind of a crime? And then ask yourself, is this a reasonable feeling, emotion? Is it logical? What are the chances of that thing really happening and hurting me in some way? And what better are the chances of me experiencing this and pushing through and nothing bad happening, but actually something really good coming out of it? And I don't think that you will let yourself down, because you know why? Spirit's going to be right there with you, guiding you, especially if you ask them for the assistance. So if you have something like this in your life, it's so easy to sit in our comfort zone, in our little box. Where's that little box for you? Is it at work, in the sanctity of your office or your space that you can just lose yourself in work and not have to think about anything? Is it your car? Some people just love getting in their car and driving. Is it your bedroom? That's my space. And that's okay to have that space. Everybody should have a place that's their haven. But sometimes we need to really challenge ourselves to step outside of it, because if we don't, we're never going to grow. We're never going to learn about ourselves. And you know what? Denying yourself that opportunity is a real shame, because the things that you can get out of it, taking that little leap of faith, and it doesn't even have to be a giant leap. You can start with little things. But taking those steps and trusting Spirit to guide you, trusting God, Creator, Source, whatever you call a higher power for you, trusting that these limited beliefs are holding you back and that they can help get you through it, I can almost promise you, you will not be let down. As long as you ask for help and trust that, they will not steer you wrong. Now, you just try and take control and do things on your own without the help. I can't guarantee that won't go awry, because we, really aren't really ever fully in control of anything. I hate to tell you, but I just would love to see you challenge yourself and try something new. And then if you'd like, connect with me. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/AngelTheChannel. You can find me on Instagram at Instagram/AngelTheChannelConfetti, Twitter at AngelTheChannel, or on YouTube. You can find me Angel the Channel on YouTube. Find me there and comment and let me know. Write on my timeline or comment in one of the posts and let me know what your experience is. I'd love to hear about it, because we can really encourage one another by sharing these experiences. And I would love for you to share something like that for everybody else to experience with you. And hopefully you could actually encourage somebody else to do the very same. Okay, so thank you for listening to that. I hope you get to experience something that was wonderful. But I'd really love to go to a caller tonight. Really going to have time for one caller, but I see that Charlie from Canton, not too far from me, is on the line. So I'd love to talk with Charlie. Charlie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Charlie. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. And you?
I'm great, thank you. I'd love to hear why you called in. Do you have a question for me this evening?
Not really. I just wanted to see if you had anything on me. I don't know.
Okay. So you'd just like to know anything that Spirit has for you and see who comes through?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see. Well, right away, I'm really glad that you called, Charlie, because I feel like the energy around you, for one, you're a very, and you may or may not agree with this, but I feel like you're a very interesting person. But I also feel a little bit of energy that feels like similar to what I was just speaking about, some discontentment. I almost feel like there's some things in your life that you have felt kind of stuck with and not felt like you've moved as fast as you would like, or not even, or possibly not acted on or tried to seek out opportunities. And I'm feeling from your spirit guides that that's why they actually encouraged you to call in tonight, because they knew I was going to be talking about something very similar to this. And your spirit guides, which you actually have an angel that's coming through named, it's something with a Donella. Yeah, Donella is one of your angels that is with you at all times. And she's saying, you have so much amazing potential. And in some things you really are passionate and you're a go-getter about, but there's other areas that she would like to see you really step out and take a chance, take some risks on some things that you might otherwise hold back on and not be or be a little slow to take a chance on, because she said you really actually have an amazing team of guides around you, including loved ones. And she's saying that you really are, if you just look to them and look to guidance for them to help guide you, you can make some amazing choices that will move you forward in your life in the areas that you have either felt stuck or just discontent, not content with. I even feel like there's areas, even with your career, that you've allowed to hold you back, where you might not have, you've been maybe afraid to take that chance or go pursue something that you actually wanted to do because you were trying to be more responsible or more logical and do things that you felt were more of a guarantee, more that may actually be, in your mind, more likely to come through with the income and more stable, but not necessarily what you really want to be doing. Not necessarily the things that you would rather be getting paid to do and enjoy doing and going for every day. And they're just wanting to really encourage you to that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're not criticizing. They just want you to pursue any passions or dreams that you may have just kind of sat tight and sat in your comfort zone because of things that you've learned throughout life might have kind of held you back, because you are wanting to be safe and wanting to ensure your success instead of facing the possibility of it not working out. And your guides are just wanting me to tell you that you have so much potential and you're intelligent and you do have things that can and will work out for you if you're willing to take the chance. So they're just letting you know that there are opportunities out there for you. And if there's something specific that you're passionate about that you'd like to pursue, that you've sat on and not tried, they're saying when you're ready, but you're probably going to never feel completely ready, don't be afraid to pursue those opportunities or look for them, and to ask the universe for assistance with it, and they will help bring those opportunities to fruition. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Okay, because I feel like you are a great worker and you can be very successful at a lot of things, but they just want you to be happy with life. I feel like you're not someone that, expects a lot. You're not real extravagant in the kind of things that you need, but they're saying that you can find a lot more happiness in these areas if you pursue your actual dreams. And I feel like you've almost forgotten what those are and don't even really know anymore. It's gotten cloudy as to what your dreams were. Those things that you longed for and were passionate about when you were younger have kind of gotten away from you because of the responsibilities of adult life and the way life has played out and happened. And they just want you to kind of find you again and find what you're passionate about, because they said life can be more enjoyable at the same time as being responsible. At the same time as if you have to earn a living, you can find something that you really enjoy and enjoy more and don't feel like you just have to settle for. So they just want you to know that you can have that joy despite almost the words that are coming through are beat down, like life has kind of gotten to you and held you back, and because of that you're not as quick to try to take those leaps of faith anymore like you would have if you were younger, when you were younger. So they just really want to see you live and love life again, and enjoy it to the fullest, because anything is possible as long as you ask and are willing to work for it. And they said you are, as long as you're passionate about it. If it's something that you are really passionate about and enjoy and want to do, there's nothing to stop you except for yourself. And so they're saying don't let yourself be the thing that gets in the way, because they will help clear the other obstacles if you're willing to take the steps to do it. So just keep that in mind, and let us see anything in other areas here. I have an uncle.
I appreciate what you said. It was very helpful.
Okay. Good. I'm glad. And there's an uncle energy around you, too. One of your uncles, he may be a great uncle or somebody that is like an uncle to you. But I feel like this is a relation of your dad's on your father's side, or a friend of your dad's that was like an uncle to you that is past, is in spirit. And he's backing up everything that your angels were saying. He's like, man, Charlie's a really great guy, and he deserves more out of life. And I hate to see sometimes that he just stays in the comfort box. And if he's willing to step out of that, we can see him have a lot more happiness, and that he deserves, is what he's telling me. And I don't want to get personal, but I also just feel a little bit of doubt there. Like sometimes you might question whether you're worthy or deserve the true happiness. And they're telling me you do. Don't ever doubt that. Don't ever question it. You can have everything that you wanted. Life has just made you think that you don't deserve it, or made you feel unworthy of it at times because of what you've been through. Choices, some mistakes you may have made, but who of us haven't made mistakes, right? And they want you to know that you're very worthy. So don't ever question that. They're telling me you should and always deserve to believe in yourself, and you have the ability to make things happen because you are worthy and you are special. And they're telling me don't ever question whether you're special or not either. And don't let anybody tell you you're not, and don't let anybody steal that power from you. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I never met my father, so I wouldn't know any of his relatives either.
Well, I definitely feel it's a uncle type energy on your father's side. I'm not picking up an actual name. It feels like a J, but this guy is basically saying that he is with you whether you knew him or not. That he knew you before you were born in spirit life, and he chose to, once he passed, to just kind of keep an eye on you for the family. So just know that you do have that love and support on the other side as well. But you have an amazing spirit team that's there guiding you. So don't ever hesitate to look to them for help. I hate to do it, Charlie, but it's already time to wrap up. But thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you listening, and I hope that was of some assistance for you.
I thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, and good luck with everything. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Have a good evening.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, goodbye. All right, so thank you again. This time just flies by, and I'm so grateful that you spend it with me. I will be here again every Thursday, so come and join me and pick me out on one of my social medias that I shared with you earlier. I'm pointing because I'm pointing to my list. But I love spending this time with you. I hope you got something valuable out of the lesson like I have. And don't forget, you have your own personal team to go to for this help and these messages. So just ask, all right? So we will see you next week. Until then, love one another. Namaste. Have a good evening.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.